disgruntledduck.com.
So I'm going to have a little go on this guy. Looks to be on a T34 base or chassis. So yeah, it's not a massive one, but this should keep me going for a day or two. So it's going alright so far. There was quite a big gap on the bottom here, so I filled that. I'm letting that dry before I start fitting these hooks on the front. Screws in there, that's to hold in this little bit where the bar's going to go through and hold on those front wheels or rear wheels. Not too sure. Yeah, the top's looking alright. The top of the chassis is coming together. As always, going to keep these bits till later, paint them up and add them on. Same with the boxes, same with the exhaust pipes at the back. The minute I'm just going to go through, make up these little oil drums. They're quite nice. Actually got some detail of denting on the side, so that looks alright. A little bit of filling needed. They don't match up too well. I always have a little problem with these oil drums, getting them to look perfectly round, so I'm going to have a little practice, try and get these looking quite sharp. But yeah, it's going so far so good. Right, so I'm looking at this guy now. I'm looking at my little extra fuel tanks, and I'm looking at the side. So I've put the fuel tank holders on, but these have, if I zoom out a bit, little bits in on the bottom. So if I flip this guy around, they actually line up perfectly to fit in to these holes, but they're the holes for the holders, it would appear. So I'm not sure. I don't think it should sit on top like that. It doesn't, because that's not how the instructions show it. So I think these guys have got to come off. They've got to be shaved off. So that's what I'm going to do at the moment. And yeah, that's it. So I've filled in these little holes on the side here. As I found out on the other side, they don't actually match up with the handrails, so there's actually pretty much no point in them being there. So I'm going to fit the other handrails on this side, fit the supports for the fuel tanks, do the front of this, and I think that's pretty much the upper hole done. It'll just be next, go back to the bottom of the hole. That's dried up nicely, so I can sand that down. And then the wheels, and then yeah, this one should be ready for a bit of priming. So the top of the hole is about done. Just a couple of little bits to fit back on. I've been a little bit frustrated with this one, to be honest. It's not been my favourite build at all. As you can see the mistakes I've made with the glue. A lot of seepage that I don't normally have. I think that's just, I don't know if it's just me tired or frustration, but there's been a couple of parts of the instructions that I've not followed. Well, that I've found a little bit difficult to follow, should I say. So I think that might have done it. A couple of bits I think they could have done differently, but yeah, that's basically the top of the hull. Need to make the gun up now, finish off the bottom, join these guys up, and then hopefully we can save this guy in the painting stage. So without a doubt, it's definitely me, not the model. I've just been so heavy-handed with the glue in places, and it's almost like I've taken a step back in my abilities, should I say, of building a model. So what I'm going to do, it's looking alright. I've joined up the top and the bottom of the hull. All I've got to do now is clean up the wheels, get everything primed up. So I'm going to go and prime this and then see how much damage there is and how much still needs to be cleaned up after the priming. A little more work on it, maybe some filling, some sanding, definitely in places, and then we'll have a look at it again and see if it's ready for a bit of paint. So as I mentioned in a previous video, I've saved this XF81. I like that colour. I'm going to try that out as a Russian green on this guy. He's all primed up, wheels are ready. So time to lay a bit of colour down on this one. So it's had its coat of paint, and now I've noticed a couple of lines that I've missed. I know it's not focusing properly again. There we go. A couple of lines, specifically side of those barrels. I don't know if you can see, it doesn't come out so well on the camera, but it's there. A little line on top, yeah, you can catch it there. So I'm going to go back and do that. And the one I've noticed the most is just on the end there. So I'm going to fill these in now. It's a bit late in the day, but it needs to be done because that's going to be a glaring problem if I don't do it. So, oh well, never mind. So here we go. I filled in the little gaps, as you can see. Maybe in a minute you'll see, yeah, they look a lot better now. The top, it's a lot better, and this guy is a lot better. So yeah, could have made a little bit of a more of an could have made a little bit more of an effort in the build process, but it is what it is, and yeah, we'll get away with that. On a side note, I think these are about the cleanest set of wheels I've done. They just lined up perfectly with my little masking tool, and yeah, I'm really chuffed with those. They look absolutely sweet. So wheels are on the SU122. It's looking pretty good. There's this gap at the back, and there's a little gap there that I'm going to have to cover when I'm doing the weathering. But apart from that, it doesn't look too bad at all. So I just need to get the tracks on now, give it a coat of varnish, get those decals on, and then get onto the weathering. So right, with this guy, I've done something slightly different. I've mixed up a black and burnt umber, really thin wash, and I've gone all over it, almost like a filter. I'm not going to clean it up or anything. I'm just going to let it sit as it is. I might clean up just the bottom of the wheel wells, don't look too artificial. But yeah, I want to see how that dries. I think I'll give a nice bit of natural depth, and just maybe finish off with some pastels or maybe some pencils to finish off the weathering. So this guy, I think we are really nearly there on him. It's just had a coat of flat on there. So, you know, I love trying out new things. You've got these guys, green and brown, dirt and mark sets, Vallejo. Is it Vallejo? No, AK, sorry, AK. Weathering pencils. So I'm going to have a little go with these on there and see what we can do. So there you go, look, you can go under this quite hard. So I've gone all over it. I need to take a damp brush and it softens up. And you can see on this side has brought up some real nice highlights. So you can see the front of that now compared to the back of that, just giving a lot more light to it, a lot more depth. I really like these, I've got to be honest. These are, yeah, I think they were quite pricey. I think they're about £7 for a packet. I think, what do you get in there? 1, 2, 3, you get 5 in a packet. I mean, it's not expensive for art pencils at all, but yeah, they're really quite nice actually. I like the effect I've got on that one. That actually looks really nice now. Don't know if I could soften up a little more. I don't know if I want to do that. I had a little think about it, but at the moment she looks really nice. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with how this guy looks. The only problem is you can still see those little lines on the spare fuel tanks. The other side's fine, just those internal bits. So I've got a few bits of trusty stowage, so I'm going to paint these up and yeah, hide those little imperfections I'm not happy with. So that's going to be it for now. I'm going to call this one done. I've fitted on all the stowage. My only problem is with it, if anything, is it's a little bit tonal. I don't know how that's going to come across in the photos afterwards, but yeah, it definitely looks okay. And I've stuck myself my little area on there. So yeah, I'm going to call this one done. Really happy with this. Really happy with the effects that those pencils have done, should I say. Yeah, really chuffed with this.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment.